Another indie brand has closed down in a little bit of a mysterious way, and Glamlite seems to think that Halloween season is now. I mean, it's nothing like the present, right? Happy Friday, everyone! It is time for another episode of new makeup releases where I come back and I chat with you about the new makeup that's been released, announced, and sneak peeked the past week, and I let you know how I feel about them, give you the inside scoop about these new things that are on the market, and then you let me know how you feel about these down in the comments. If I miss anything this episode, just know that this episode is actually a little bit pre-filmed because I am going on a little bit of a vacation together with my husband and my father-in-law, so I'm filming this on a Wednesday. So whatever is missing, we'll do that next week instead. I actually did film this look. I'm wearing the new lipstick and lip liner from Rare Beauty, the red ones that are called Devoted, and I am actually not wearing grays, I am wearing browns. I am wearing the browns, the taupes on the side here, but this is what happens when you put taupes on a warm skin tone, they turn into grays, so. Apparently we're doing Hollywood Vixen a la 1992 with a gray smoky eye. But let me scoochie to the side so that we can fit some pictures here because we have some stuff to talk about. First of all, I wanted to mention, and I forgot to mention this in last week's episode, but I did put it on my community tab, that my own brand Singe Beauty is now available at Monolith. So if you're living in Europe, or if you're living in the EU, or if you're living in EU and Europe, I know sometimes people are not living in Europe think that EU and Europe is the same thing. They are not the same thing. But if you are living there, they're now available at Monolith, so you can save a little bit on shipping and taxes. I know that that helps out a bunch of you, and I will leave a link to that down below. Now I have 2 different retailers, and I'm very excited about that. I also told you last week that I'm aiming to have my next launch with Singe Beauty in August, and I'm still hoping to have that. Should we talk about the indie release that I feel like I'm the most intrigued by? Do I have these things in front of me? Apparently I do not, but this is the release from Odin's Eye. I have the palette here somewhere, but I thought I'd show you because when I filmed my video, this video was live on Monday and the collection is already available. You can use my code per usual and get some money off at Odin's Eye. So this palette and highlighters and blushes were launching on Tuesday. I had a video on Monday and I told you that one of my blushes was broken, and they actually sent me a new one. So this is the blush that was broken in my video, and I did not know, because mine came broken, that it is actually 2 different shades. I had no idea about that because I hadn't seen it on broken. But look at how beautiful this is. So there's a peach shade and then there is a pink shade, and it is very, very glowy. I am using mine that is a little bit shattered in the video though, but I thought it was so fun and I wanted to show you that this is what it looks like. And yeah, of course my second one came perfectly fine. It is really, really pretty. I also wanted to tell you, there was someone asking me if I thought that this one was the same color story as my Little Ghost palette, because that one has purple, blue, and a neon yellow. And personally, I don't think they're the same because they have definitely different undertones. I'm showing you some swatches here side by side so that you can see them. And also the Little Ghost has, first of all, it has more shades. So I think it has like 2 or 3 more shades, and that one is having, instead of the browns, it's having the peaches and the reds, which is something that I personally prefer, of course, because I did that palette. But I hope you can also see that like the undertones and the shimmers, they're not dupes, they're just like different undertones. And also there are more blues in the Little Ghost palette. But I also think that if you're not a lover of color, you're probably gonna look at these and you're gonna be like, blues are blues are blues, the way that I sometimes feel with browns. I'm like, how many brown palettes do you need? So I think that if you're a lover of color like I am, you will probably look at these and be like, these are nothing alike. But if you are more into like, I don't want to have too many blues or purples, you might see some similarities. So if you already own the Little Ghost, maybe you don't need this one, but I just thought I'd show you side by side because my initial thought was like, absolutely not. But I also recognize that like, depending on your favorite colors, like I think you can never have too many blues, but blue is my favorite like eyeshadow color, so it's a bit different, and I just wanted to show you. If you want to have more info about this collection, like I said in Monday's video, I will leave a link to that down below. Everything will be linked in the description box in case you want to see some more info. Where can I find this? How much is it going to be? When is it launching? Do you have a discount code? All of that is going to be in the description box. I actually talked about in last week's episode that I am not invited to YouTube shopping. Basically, YouTube told me that like, oh no, your channel was created in Sweden, so I don't want to say we don't care about you, but they basically said there's nothing we can do. But all of a sudden last week I was invited anyways. Like, I'm not saying anything. So if you prefer looking up the stuff through YouTube shopping, that's going to be on the screen as well. They don't have indie brands. So if you wanted to see about the indie brands, you're gonna have to go to the description box. I hope that this makes sense. My links are affiliated, so if you do shop through my links, you are supporting this channel. And if you do, thank you so much for, well, supporting this channel. Let's talk about the Glamlite and Chucky Good Guys collection. Okay, I have never seen this movie, so I don't know the plot. So when I saw this one, I was like, it's Chucky a cartoon now, but I think that this is based off the doll that Chucky is supposed to be, like the good doll, and then he turns into that scary, like, horror. Again, I don't watch horror movies. I get angry when I get scared. I don't like horror movies. It's not for me, so I honestly have not watched this movie. I really like the quality of the first Chucky palette. I thought that was the good Glamlite formula, and I think that that is probably their best horror palette as well. They've done so many since, and I do agree when you were saying like, oh, is Glamlite the new Hip Dot? I mean, it seems like they're doing a lot of collabs, even though I know that the owner did hint on her Instagram, I think, that they were doing a dessert theme again, so they were coming back to like the roots, and I think that that is amazing because honestly, I love a good collab, but like at this point, it just feels like it's a little bit too much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is being sent to me as PR. I do have a code with Glamlite. This collection is already available. They dropped it on the 4th of July, which for me, I mean, I don't celebrate the 4th of July. I actually had once someone being surprised that I wasn't celebrating 4th of July. And I'm just like, that's not my holiday, but that's neither here nor there. My holiday is June 6th. That is the Swedish National Day. But I think it is a little bit interesting that they launch on July 4th because I was thinking that people are going to be busy, you know, eating hot dogs and looking at fireworks and not shopping for makeup. But what do I know? Even if I don't get sent this in PR, I'm not going to purchase this one, mainly because I don't have time. I'm going into my travel period. Like I said, I'm pre-filming this video because I am traveling, and then I'm basically traveling twice a month for the rest of the year almost. It's a lot right now, but I will say if I get this, I will do it. I will do some swatches, I'll do reel, I'll review it eventually, but I won't do a dedicated video because I just do not have time. I also will say, this is my, tell me if you agree with me. I think some of you will. Tell me what you think. First thing I thought when I saw this palette was, how many times are we gonna do the color scheme red, blue, green? This is not the first time that they're doing this. This isn't even the second time they're doing this. And at this point, I'm just like, is it more about the packaging than the actual makeup? Because for me, I think packaging and theming plays a huge role in how you perceive the makeup, how you covet the makeup, and how fond you are of it, and how, for me, how likely I am to save makeup in a declutter is, does the makeup grammar out the window? Does the makeup have the full package? Do I love the packaging? Do I love the color? Do I love the formulation? Do I love how it wears on me? Do I love how it feels when I hold it? I need all of it. I need it to be the full package. And I think that Glamlite is kind of onto it when they're really working hard to make something feel cool when you hold it. But I think they really dropped the ball with the color stories in the last couple of palettes, because what is this? We've already done this, and this exact same layout too. I feel like one of the Halloween palettes was kind of this layout, and I also feel like, wasn't the Kiss palette kind of similar to this, but they threw in some purples as well? The whole collection is yellow, and there is not a yellow shadow, there's one gold metallic. I understand, but I also don't understand. And I really like Glamlite. I like the Glamlite team. I like the makeup that they do. But this color story is just, it feels like the color story was the part that was done last. Or I feel like they did the color story and they didn't take into consideration what have we already done. And it makes me feel sometimes like Glamlite is selling to a new customer every time they're releasing something. They're not selling to the Glamlite customer. They're selling to the people that love the franchise. The people who love Kiss. Who are also not gonna love the palette for Chucky. Who are also not gonna love the palette for Barbie. Who are also not gonna love the palette for Betty Boop. I feel like they're always appealing to a new customer. And I feel like they're not being self-critical enough to look at like, what have we already released? What do we already have? Because I feel like they already have this. Coming from a person who loves blues, and even I'm just like, I feel like I've seen this. I think my sound was a little bit off in that beginning part, so I'm sorry if the sound is a little bit weird. I fixed it now, I think. So if the sound is off, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I don't know what was happening. We're somewhat back. I'm actually really excited about this new Fenty release because I'm wondering if this is going to be an updated and better version of those shiny lipsticks that they had. Those lipsticks were good, but they were not perfect, and I also didn't love the color range. And I feel like this new Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Stick High Shine Gloss Stick, which is a really long name, but these look more promising, not only the packaging, but also the shade range. The shade range seems really nice. I feel like there's a couple of these shades that I can see myself getting. They are launching globally on the 12th of July. They're going to be $25 each. And I think I'm going to pick up at least one of these. At least one of these, and I'm going to see how they wear. I actually really like the Gloss Bomb. I'm still on the fence of getting that one that's a little gray. But I have so many lip products right now that I love and that I reach for when I'm not filming, to the point that when I'm not filming and I'm just like trying to do that no makeup, not no makeup, that is not true. I don't know if I always do a no makeup, but more that like I'm only going to use 5 products and I'm going to use lippy. I'm having a hard time deciding what lippy I'm going to wear because I have so many favorites. And if you saw my best of the year so far, like favorites, you saw that there are so many new good lip products. And I just don't know if I need to get another gloss bomb. Like, will I be wearing that? I don't know. But I will be trying one of these. I wonder what shade I'm going to get. I'm thinking one of those warm browns. Sort of Selfish. That one seems like one that I would like. Or maybe like a really light one. I feel like that could be interesting too, because I don't think I own a lot of stuff like that. And maybe I should like not buy what I usually buy. I've been into pinks. Should I get a pink? That would definitely be in the category things I don't usually buy. Am I okay? Do I need help? Tarte is releasing a Tartelette Reflections 25 years anniversary Amazonian clay palette. This is $54 and it has a bunch of like colors in here. And what I thought when I saw this palette was like, oh, they're doing a best of, because this palette is quite literally all the shades that Tarte ever puts in palettes. They just put them all in one palette. This is the best of Tarte. This is everything Tarte offers when it comes to eyeshadows. It's these nudie pinky nudes and then a couple of like oranges and purples and a black and a beige, and like that's it. This is the color scheme of Tarte. So I do think that this is a very fitting palette for a 25-year like celebration, because yeah, this is the Tarte selection. They basically went through all their like shades that they have in their palettes and just put them in one. So if you own palettes from Tarte, I think you're good. I think you own this. Let's be honest, you own this. If you have never tried Tarte, like you can get this one and then just never get a palette from them again because you have their whole selection. Like this is what they're about basically. At least the past couple of years, they haven't really been venturing out to exciting town. I'm not getting this. I don't hate this. I'm sure that if I mean, look at what I'm wearing today. Literally, I'm wearing a neutral look with a red lip. Like, who do I think I am? Oh my god, I'm such a rebel. Calm down. But with that being said, every time I want to do a look like this, I already have stuff that I want to work with. And usually this color story isn't what I'm going for, especially not the mauve-y, pinky neutrals. That's usually not what I go for. I'm not intrigued by this, so I'm not gonna get it. But I also saw that they're releasing a 6-pan palette, and this is just, I mean, you see this. They took 6 shades from that palette and they put in this one. It is 2 mattes, 3 metallics, and one that looks like a shimmer. Because it seems like there are 3 different formulas. I might be wrong, but again, I don't. This is the Tarte. They just have a way of making all of their palettes look like they've just jumbled around the same 25 shadows or whatever it was in that. Was it 25? Because that would have been fun if it's like a 25-year-old brand and then they're like, no, it's not. They wouldn't be that fun. No. Kayali is releasing another product. I think last week we talked about that vacation set. I do get some PR from Kayali, so I try to wait a bit and see if I get it in PR before I purchase it. I have not gotten that one though, so I'm going to be purchasing that one myself. This one though, I think I will be skipping because this is the Oudgasm Rose Oud Hair Mist. I actually have the Rose Oud and it is definitely an oudy scent with rose, which is, if you think that that sounds lovely. Because there are people who love rose scents and that love oud. And if you hear rose oud and you're thinking, oh, that sounds lovely, you will love it. It is a well-composed scent with rose and oud. You will love it. Is it for me? No. It is not my journey. It's not the kind of fragrance I go for. Oud is actually one of those things that I try to avoid in fragrances. But I will say the vanilla oud and the tobacco oud is pretty good. Even for someone, it's like oud beginners. But the rose oud just isn't for me. I also don't like the cafe oud. I don't think that that smells like coffee at all. It was supposed to be coffee, but I don't think so. So this one that is a hair mist with the rose oud, I do think that having a hair mist, again, we're getting into body care like being the next big thing. We had makeup 2016, and then we had skincare 2020, and then we had perfume going bananas last year, going into this year, but now we're into like body care, hair mist, body butters, candles. All of those things are just booming right now. So this makes sense for a fragrance brand to release a hair mist. It makes sense. It's just not for me. I was a little bit surprised at like the release of this one because I didn't think it was like, I don't know why I was so surprised, but the Clionadh Cosmetics new palettes, we talked about them a while ago, they're releasing like now. I think they're already released. Yeah, they're releasing today on Friday the 5th. So you can buy these with a code. Hopefully, I think so. I have a code and you can get some money off Clionadh. I would be surprised if they don't work on these palettes. I don't have these myself in PR. And maybe that's why I'm a little bit surprised at how quickly this came, because they told me they were going to send them to me. I have not received them. I have not gotten tracking either. So maybe that's why I didn't like realize that the launch is, it's coming now, but I am excited. So this is the Archeo, the Paleo, and the Oceano palette. These are going to be in Canadian dollars because Clionadh is a Canadian brand. So when you're seeing these, remember that Canadian dollars, they're not one-to-one to US dollars. So just keep that in mind. This is a little bit more of an expensive palette. Clionadh is not an affordable brand. They're very high quality. So, oh, it says that everything is coupon eligible. So yeah. Keep that in mind. I'm very excited to see these. Hopefully I still will get them in PR. Probably should ask them because otherwise I think I'm just going to order them today because this is one of those releases that I am very excited about. And I probably will not be doing a dedicated video because the release is happening today and I am traveling. But that doesn't mean that I can't do reels or swatches or anything else. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to own it for me. Because this is one of those releases like I want to have this for me. Like, I want to own it, not just like beauty YouTube review, but like Anielka wants to own this for herself. I was very excited when I saw this because I feel like this opens up possibilities of stuff that they can do more in the future. And this is MAC is celebrating their 40th anniversary with limited lipsticks, and they are coming back. 8 colors are coming back. These are existing colors that have been discontinued. They are coming back in a limited edition packaging. And honestly, this is an exclusive fan favorite colors that MAC fans have been asking them to return. These are some good colors. It is Up the Amp, Bubbles, Chintz, Haku, Flesh Pot. I know a lot of people have been asking for that one. Shanghai Spice, that is a great color. Hot Gossip, and Double Shot. Double Shot is so beautiful. These are great selections, great colors, and I think it's so smart of them to bring back discontinued favorites for limited edition drops like this. And I hope that this does well and that they do more of that in the future because this is a great idea. This is a great idea, especially Double Shot and Shanghai Spice. Those are great colors. They're also coming out with, this is the Glow Play collection, and I feel like these are existing formulas but new colors for spring summer. Or maybe the lip balms are new actually because it seems like they are pH activated. The way that I am just so over that. But also I'm like, okay, so this is how I feel. As a consumer, as a reviewer, I am very much over the pH activated. Like, please let it die already. I am so over it. But also as a brand owner, I like when I start to look at like what products you can develop and what products you can include in your line, I don't blame any brand for thinking, oh, that's fun, I want to do that too. I don't blame anyone for thinking, oh, what a cute thing, I want to put my own spin to that. So with that being said, I am not surprised that a lot of brands are doing what other brands are doing, because they're probably looking at that and they're like, wow, that is a great product. I would love to do something similar for my brand. So I don't blame them, but as a consumer, I'm just like, for the love of everything, make it stop. I was a little bit surprised when I saw this new release from Makeup Forever, because they are releasing lip liners in already existing colors, but just in like a waterproof formula. So this is the Artist Color Pencil, which is what they have from before, but this is the extreme waterproof lip liner. The other pencils are just pencils, like pens. You can use them anywhere, I think. I don't think they're meant to be like, I don't think they say like lip liner or eyeliner. I think they just say pen, but this one says lip liner. And it says a intensely pigmented waterproof lip liner that glides on lips for all day, no budge color. So I think that these are just a more budge proof, waterproof formula. And it does come in 5 already existing colors. And it is like, I think it's like Anywhere Caffeine. It is, oh, here it is. Dimensional Dark Brown, Limitless Brown, Endless Cacao, Wherever Walnut, and Anywhere Caffeine, which are their most popular pens for the lips. I don't really understand why though, because I think the lips, the pens are so good for the lips. The pens, and this is my opinion, are already better for the lips than they are for the eyes. Because I personally think they're a little bit too dry for the eyes, but that's what makes them perfect for the lips. Because I don't like a super overly creamy lip liner. I don't think that that's my favorite formula when it comes to lip liners. I like something that's like not dry, but has a little bit of a not overly creamy formula, because it makes it so much easier to be precise, it lasts longer, and it actually keeps your lipstick or lip gloss from like bleeding all over the place, which for me is the whole point of lip liner. So yeah, I don't understand it, but I do think there are people out there that prefer that like super glidey, creamy lip liner formula. That's not me, but I know other people do. And I hear sometimes people are like, oh, I love this formula, it's so creamy. And that's when I know I'm like, this might not be my favorite, because you can't be precise with it. It's just like a lipstick, but like in a slim packaging. And I'm like, I want to be precise with my lip liner. And I also don't like when they're too pigmented straight out of the gate. That's also not my favorite. I like a more buildable thingamajig. Refy is releasing 2 new products, and I think that this is really interesting. One of them is a Blur and Hydrate Oil Control Face Primer with hyaluronic acid. So for me, this sounds like a mattifying but still hydrating primer, which can be a really good thing. It says that it is a primer that blurs, absorbs oils, primes the skin, leaving a cloud-like finish without mattifying. So I think that this is gonna keep your skin from being too overly glowy throughout the day, but it's not gonna leave you dead matte from the beginning, and it still has some hydrating properties. It sounds interesting. I love a mattifying primer. I use a mattifying primer every time I do my makeup, except when I am reviewing a foundation, because I don't always use a primer then. They're also releasing a face setter hydrating and plumping setting spray with polyglumatic acid, which I'm gonna be honest, it goes a little bit over my head. I don't 100% know what that is. But this says that it sets makeup in place all day and instantly hydrating and smoothing the skin. Smoothing the skin? With what? Oh, this one says that it has a light film former inside, which helps to keep your makeup in place. That's really, really interesting. Huh. Skincare hybrid that sets your makeup in place whilst giving you a boost of hydration throughout the day. Lightweight, non-sticky formula melts makeup together and plumps the skin, leaving it natural dewy finish. The ultra-fine mist packaging ensures a soft and even application. And it's supposed to make your makeup last longer and also melt the makeup together and making you look a little bit more plump and dewy. That seems like 3 things that you would use different products for that don't go together. If this actually works, this will be a great product. This makes me intrigued. Would this work? What do you think about this? You know, sometimes the description of products, it's worse than on a dating site. They're literally good at everything. I love long, slow walks down the makeup aisle. I will cook you dinner. I will fold your laundry. I will do your taxes. I will be forever faithful. I'm also 6'4" and my body is incredibly well toned, even though I'm always having candy at home for you. I feel like this product is that. I love Jo Malone fragrances, and I wanted to mention, so this is the Orange Marmalade Cologne. This is a tantalizing citrus woody scent inspired by the great British tradition of marmalade making. I really, really think that Jo Malone makes citrus fragrances really good. I have at least 3, maybe 4 different citrus fragrances from Jo Malone, so I definitely do not need another one. My favorite is Orange Bitters, and even now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to go and spritz it. Let me go get it. This is Orange Bitters. This used to be a fragrance that came out like limited edition for Christmas time. I've done that a couple of times. I don't know if this one is still available, but this one, it's so good. It's so good. It smells... it smells like peeling the peel of an orange. It smells like orange peels, and so fresh and so citrusy, but oranges. But like the orange peel, like peeling an orange, and then there are spices in the background. For me, this is a perfect Christmas scent, but I will be honest, I don't mind a spicy orange any time of the year. So if you like citrus scents, and if that one is not available, maybe sniff this one, because Jo Malone makes really good citrus fragrances. Oh, we have another primer, and this is from One Size. One Size is releasing the Oil Sucker? I don't know how I feel about that name. This is the Oil Sucker Extreme. Ooh. Who made me do that? Ugh. Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Alkaline Primer. It's a dermatologist-tested primer that delivers extreme mattifying oil absorption with alkaline pH while tightening the appearance of pores. This is a matte finish. It is a liquid. Is it going to be similar to the Water Powder Serum by Danessa Myricks? I don't know. I'm excited. It's currently available, apparently. It's $34. I do receive PR from One Size. I've recently gotten on their PR list, but if I don't end up getting this in PR, I will be trying this one out, because I will say One Size has really good products when it comes to like oil absorption. Their loose powder, to me, according to me, it's actually what I'm wearing today, is the one that really keeps me matte but not flat all day. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, I will be trying this one way or another before the summer is over, and we are gonna see how this primer handles the Texas humidity and my oily combo skin. I saw this one and I giggled. This is from Beautyblender. It's a new release. They're doing a pool party makeup sponge. Please go away. For the love of everything, go away. Stop with your different colored sponges 3 to 4 times a year. Nobody cares. I don't get it. I personally, I think the beauty blenders are perfectly fine. I'm gonna be honest with you, they're perfectly fine. They're not my favorite sponge. I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I decided to do, I don't have any clean ones. I only have dirty ones. This is the one I use today. Decided to do my own sponges for Singe is because I found this amazing quality, and I think that my sponges are half the price of Beautyblender, and I personally think they're better than Beautyblender, and I think there are many sponges on the market that are more affordable than Beautyblender that cost less, and you don't need to get it in 5 million different colors. For me, I don't get it, but they keep going. They're like, listen, pool party. 10 points for trying. Fenty is also releasing some more lip oils. I know that when people talk about their favorite lip oils, a lot of people will mention the Fenty Skin lip oils. I still have not tried them. Maybe I'm missing out. You're gonna have to let me know. I'm really into, and I talked about that in the best makeup of 2024 so far. I talked about the Clarins lip oil in Cherry. It is so good. And they are releasing Fenty Lip Summer. This is a lip oil in black cherry and dragon fruit. I wonder if these are a set or if these are... Because I could see myself getting that darker one, because I have been really into a nude lip liner, like a nude for me lip liner, and then a darker jelly gloss or lip oil on top, and maybe that black cherry one. Is it a set? Is it a set or do they come separately? Because it's a dragon fruit and a black cherry, and I could see myself getting the black cherry if it's sold separately. I'm excited about that one. And if you like the lip oils, 2 more shades coming. Ooh, and I'm getting this one as well. This is the Danessa Myricks new concealer. It is now available. It's $30 and I've already had it in my basket. I am, well, as you're seeing this, I am in Seattle. I'm hoping to be able to go into a Sephora because I want to get this concealer, and I also want to get that set from Kayali. But otherwise, I'll just make an order when I come home if nothing else. Like, it's not that hard. But I am very, very excited about this concealer. I love the face products from Danessa Myricks. She really has a way of making really good face products that are a little bit unique and different and just feels a little bit more artistic, but also are easy to use and easy to like understand. So I'm very excited to see what her concealer is going to be. We haven't talked about Polish indie brand Glam Shop in a bit, but I actually saw this on my feed and they are releasing a new palette, or I think this is already available. Again, if you're living in Europe and you want to try out an indie brand and you want to try out those like sparkly fun shades and you want to have more bright colors than you might be able to find in your local makeup stores or in your local Sephora's, Glam Shop is a really fun brand and they're shipping out of Poland. And this says, transport yourself to a fairy tale world with our multicolor palette featuring 15 unique eyeshadows in candy shimmering shades. Feel like Alice in Wonderland with this versatile palette. I think it looks super, super cute. There's some pastels, there's a couple of neutrals, there's some shimmers. I think it looks really beautiful. And I also will say those 3 white shades at the top are probably iridescent toppers, which usually are really, really fun, and it's one of those things that indie brand just does really well. So I wanted to mention this because, again, I know I have a huge part of my audience that is actually based out of Europe, and if you wanted to try something fun for the summer, maybe this one. I am surprised that it's taken this long to get more affordable like cleansing balms that you can find like not even at a makeup store, but maybe probably at like a grocery store. And this is Garnier coming up with the Erase It All Makeup Cleansing Balms. These are $14.99 each, and these are cleanse and gently remove all types of longwear makeup, eye, lips, face, sunscreen residue, fragrance-free, sulfate-free, silicone-free, and they come in 2 different ones, one with vitamin C and one with hyaluronic acid. I think that this is a great idea because I think that a lot of people, and I'm saying this with love, but I think a lot of people have problems with their skin or are suffering from breakouts or are having different conditions with their skin because they are not cleaning their skin properly if you are wearing makeup. Unless it's just concealer and a brow pencil, you really should be double cleansing. And I also see people that only use this balm and then don't clean their face afterwards, and I'm telling you right now, there is nothing that breaks out my skin like a cleansing balm and not following up with a second cleanse. I need to do something that is fatty, something that's balmy or oily. I love a makeup remover oil to just dissolve everything, and then I need to wash that away, not just with water, but like with a cleanser. Not to strip my skin, but to get rid of that oil that otherwise will break me out. So if you think that like, oh, all of these things with like a skincare routine, it's too expensive, maybe this could be something, but remember to follow up with something afterwards as well. Following up with micellar water is not enough. It needs to be something that you wash away, but I think this is a great idea. And I hope that this means that even more people will discover what a double cleanse can really do for your skin. And I'm not saying that this is the solvent for everyone's problems, definitely not. And I'm not saying that everyone that has breakouts is not cleaning their skin properly. Absolutely not saying that. And I will have people in the comments telling me that I said that. Absolutely not saying that. But I am saying that for some people, some concerns will probably be solved by a double cleanse. That's just my opinion. I have a couple of more things still to talk about, and one of the things that I'm very excited about, and I think this one is already available, and that is that Nabla is releasing more colors in their Cupid's Arrow like liners. These can be used all over. They can be used as an eyeshadow, as an eyeliner, as an eye primer. I've even used them on my lips. that actually works too. You just need to like clean it in between so you don't give yourself an infection somewhere. And they are coming out with some new colors, and they're also bringing back some old colors. I love the Cupid Arrow. They are such a good versatile formula. They are smudgeable, so you can use them as a primer or you can use them as an eyeshadow. They don't crease. You can use them in the waterline. They're just a really, really good product, and I highly recommend these. And I actually got a mail this morning from Nabla saying that they were sending these to me in PR, and I am genuinely so excited because I use the Cupid Arrows all the time. It is a great makeup product. I cannot recommend these enough. They are available at Ulta. I hope Ulta will get the new colors as well. Some of them are available at Beauty Bay, or you can buy them at the Nabla website. But this is a great makeup product. They're also coming out with a lip mask in coconut, which I think is a great idea. And I think they're coming out with a waterproof version of their mascara as well. But I'm so excited about these Cupid Arrows. They're such a great product, and they have been a staple in my collection for years. YSL is releasing some more quads, and I'm gonna be honest, when I saw these, they're like new eyeshadow quads. These are they actually, oh my god, are you sure that these are 4 different quads? Because 2 of them look exactly the same. They have got to be a mistake, right? 2 of them are the same. Are they really 4 different ones? No, 2 of these are the same, right? Like I'm not, like my eyesight is not fooling me. 2 of these quads are the same. There has got to be a mistake. Oh, they're saying 4 different, but I'm only seeing 3. Maybe I'm confused, but also it's like, are they discontinuing some other stuff? Because surely YSL must have had this in their collection before. 2 brown quads, a somewhat gray quad, and then a brown with 1 orange. I don't know. Maybe I'm confused, but let's not talk about that anymore because that's just confusing. They are actually releasing something where I was like, huh, what do you know? This is actually really interesting. And is this pastel quad? This one is so beautiful. This is the Couture Mini Eyeshadow Clutch. It is number 125. It has a gradient design and pastel colors. And look at this compact. Look at this compact. Is this not so cute? But also, like, the thing that brings me in is the compact. So I kind of wish that I could get like a wallet in that instead, or like, I don't know, anything else, a powder. I don't need the quad, but like, wow, that is so cute. But if you're into designer or like luxury makeup, at least this is something different. This is something that I don't see all the time from luxury or designer makeup. This is a little new and fun, and I gotta say, this is cute. Also, they have the applicators in here. I remember, who did I talk to? I talked to a representative of a luxury brand. I don't remember who it was. And I actually asked them, I'm like, why do you insist on putting those applicators in your compacts? Only luxury brands do that, and I feel like it's the least luxury thing you can do. And she actually told me that they had been experimenting a couple of years back by not putting the applicators in because they were like me. They were like, who's using these? And their customers, which is, she told me their customers is not the almost a typical beauty community customer, basically. And she told me their customers were upset, and they basically bullied them to put the applicators back in because they were like, hey, where's my tools? And I find that very fascinating that she told me that the reason why these applicators are still in the designer and luxury makeup things is because the customers actually really want them. And I was like, huh, I guess like buying separate tools for your makeup didn't reach that consumer base. And I find that very fascinating because I feel like me and probably most of you watching this, you won't use those applicators. Even if you buy this, these are not the applicators you would use unless you're in a pinch. And we're talking capital letters, pinch. But I found that very interesting. I thought I'd share it with you because it was one thing that I was asking about because I was wondering So I thought I'd share it. Now you know too. There is a sneak peek from Beauty Bay, and I don't really know what this is, but I found the sneak peek very interesting. The picture I'm showing you here is the first one in the carousel, but there is plenty of pictures in this carousel, and it says, "Are you a wild one? Coming soon. Put your guesses in the comments below." And I thought that was very, very interesting because I have no idea what this is going to be. And Beauty Bay sometimes does really interesting color stories when it comes to palettes, and they have really nice quality. And I have not bought a palette from Beauty Bay in a bit, but if it's anything close to this, sign me up. So I will let you know more about that when I know more. Let's end with talking about the brand that closed down. And I am so surprised about this because I don't feel like they did any kind of announcement, and it makes me wonder what happened, and that is Luie Beauty. If you have been on my channel for a really long time, you know that Luie Beauty was one of the first brands that I ever got PR with. It's one of the first brands that I ever had a code with, and it's one of the first indie brands that I ever tried. It was Luie Beauty, Divina, JD Glow, Makeup Addiction Cosmetics, and there was a couple of more brands that I really used to love. And this was back in the day before there was like that many indie brands as they are now. And it was also when most indie brands were made by hand. And I will say not all of them aged gracefully. I have gotten rid of all of my JD Glow because all of it went bad way before anything else. I got rid of some of my stuff from Divina because some of the older shadows cracked in the pans, and I loved them when I had them and I thought they were beautiful. One of the reasons why I stopped reviewing Luie is actually because she overhauled her entire brand, and she decided to make her shadows in a factory instead, which I think is a good idea because it makes it easier to control that every shadow is the same. It also makes it easier to control that you're fulfilling all the requirements when it comes to laws and the FDA, blah, 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 all of those things, which can be really hard to fix if you're on your own. And it also is a way to put costs down and to produce larger amount of shadows in a lesser amount of time, because I think a lot of the problems with these smaller indie brands that were hand pressing the shadows back in the days was that they could never keep up with demand. I remember, what was that, Beauty Escape Cosmetics. I love their shadows, but they were like making shadows as people were ordering them, which was also one of the reasons why I stopped reviewing them, because I was like, people can't wait this long for shadows. So with Luie, when they went into a factory, one of the things that they did not make sure that they had was the same formula in the factory as they had before. It just wasn't as good anymore. And I don't know if they stopped doing that and they went back to hand pressing. They took away all of their codes eventually, and they also stopped sending out PR. And instead of charging, I remember they were charging a lot less for their shadows than everyone else. And it was their whole business idea and the way that they ran their brand. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was very different from every other indie brand out there. They never posted anything on social media unless they were releasing something. And every time they were releasing something, it was never really, you could never really know what you were getting, because the only swatches you could ever see was the owner's own swatches, because she never sent out any PR. And because the shadows were so affordable, I think a lot of people were still buying them. Some were loving them, some were not loving them. It seems like the reviews were a little bit all over the place. And this is also one of the reasons why I stepped away, because I was like, I don't recognize this brand anymore. And now all of a sudden, they're gone. The website is gone. And the last thing that Luie posted on, because their Instagram is still open, and like I said, the only thing that they post is when they have a sale or when they have a new release. They never reposted anyone's swatches. They never really, oh well, here, look, they actually did repost to people down here, but it was always just little blurbs. It was almost like reading a newsletter, but just all together. It was a little weird. So the last thing that is on the website says, and this is the 3rd of May, so it is a while ago, it says inventory sell-off. $150 each in USD dollars while supplies last. And it says single shadows are only at $1.50 per shadow going on right now. We are selling shades we never released because we are moving into a manufacturing process to be more efficient and keep our cost at a price point accessible to all. So they are just getting rid of all their excess shades. It's over 50 plus shades that are not before released on the site, link in our bio. I know that this also says that they are behind on shipping on some older ones. And I will say, since then, the website is no longer available. So I honestly don't know what happened. They're gone. And I see the comments are angry people that didn't get their orders. So I really don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I wish I had more insight than I do, but I really don't. And the only reason why I was like told about this is because one of you DM'd me and you're like, hey, do you know what's going on with Luxie? It seems like they just closed down. And I went on this like wild goose chase trying to like, what was the last time they posted on Instagram? Why is the website not open? And I also found, I tried to stay away from Reddit because Reddit users sometimes can be like a little vicious. Oh my God, if they don't like you, they will let you know. In all the big words that they are probably a little afraid to put on YouTube, but they will let you know. But I found a thread on Reddit that was talking about like the Luxie, was it someone that was missing their order and people were discussing it? And I was like, this seems to be a bigger issue. So honestly, I don't know. It seems like they're just gone. And I really, really, really hope that everybody got their orders. I really hope that like refunds were issued, or that you're getting your stuff, or that you're getting some kind of communication. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing that I can tell you is that the indie community, I started my channel in 2015 because I wanted to meet friends and I wanted to play with makeup. And I started to get into indie makeup almost instantly because I discovered that a lot of these big brands like Too Faced was not shipping to Sweden. That was super popular at the time. And there was a lot of these brands that were super popular that I couldn't get a hold of. We only had one Sephora that didn't have an online shop. The Sephora was not in the town that I was living in. We just really didn't get any of the fun makeup. But the indie brands, they shipped to Sweden. They shipped to me. So I got into indie brands kind of instantly and I found Luxie. And I remember the first time I bought a collection from Luxie, I was sitting up. It released 2 a.m. Swedish time. And I was up in the middle of the night. I set my alarm and I bought the entire collection. And I remember thinking, did I make a mistake? Because it was expensive. It was over $100 and I bought the entire collection and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be so fun. I can't believe I got my hands on this. I got it all shipped to me. I made a video on it and they reached out to me and they started sending me PR. They gave me an affiliate code. I think this was the first, if not at least one of the first affiliate codes I ever got. And I always try to like have affiliate codes with brands that I support and brands that I really like. But stuff did happen with the brand over time. And I'm really sad to see this happen, to see them having like disgruntled like customers and not delivering on their promises and then all of a sudden just disappearing. So if you have any more info about this, please let me know. If you're waiting for your order, please let me know. If you have any thoughts about this or if you found me through Luxie back in the day, would love to hear all about it. I'm sad to see this happen. Maybe it's not the end. Maybe they are working behind the scenes. Maybe they're coming back. Who knows? But I was surprised to see this happen. And if I have any updates about this, I will put it in the description box together with the information about Luxie because I don't want to be like spreading misinformation either. So if I have any updates and you're wondering if you're seeing this a couple of days later, if you want to see what's going on, if I have any updates, I'll put in the description box. And I think that is everything. I have been filming for a really, really long time and I feel like I'm getting a little glowy. I'm trying out a new matte foundation today. I'm trying out the Too Faced one. And I do feel like it's looking pretty good. But I mean, it is really warm and humid here. And I'm sitting in front of these lights. And I've been sitting here for like 3 hours. So I'm not surprised that the makeup is getting a little glowy. But overall, I think everything looks pretty good. I hope you're having an amazing, amazing Friday. If I am not at all active in the comments today, it's because I am traveling with my husband and my father-in-law. We're having a little bit of a family vacation weekend. I will be back and I I will have videos next week per usual, but if I'm not active in the comments, you know why. We're having a family vacation. I hope your weekend is going to be absolutely amazing, and I will see you soon again in a new video. Bye!